Big time nice. Hopefully nice. Hopefully we don't come to regret it at all. But definitely is a lot of fun. Connells, you play Wujian Troll sometimes and never train Invo? Okay, so I'd definitely take your word over mine, because I have no idea. Jivia and Max Invo, you become the Royal Jelly. Love that. Oh, and speaking of jellies, why hello there, my friends. How about that? Very fitting. You know what, let's actually get blasting just to ensure our safety here. A bit more corrosion than I would like, but not the end of the world. Corrosion resistance ring, not too worried about that. Necrotize and all that good stuff. Nothing too exciting here. Let's continue on. To Zig 11. Oh, geez. I have no digging to deal with these sons of guns, so this seems like it's just going to be painful. Just torment and summoned buddies as far as the eye can see. As well as a cold-themed floor here. So what we're going to do is use up one blink scroll to just try to bring ourselves to the exit. Ooh. There's a blink scroll on the floor too. Okay, so let's break this down for a quick second here, shall we? If we wish to keep going, go for one blink to the downstairs and immediately head down, hopefully not taking too much cold damage on the way. Alternatively, this is where we bow out. Vase Max is also pretty epic too, Luminary of Lethal Lore. Oh, I am a sucker for alliteration, so I do love that. That's fun. Okay, let's think about this for a second though. How risky we're feeling here today. This is definitely exactly the scenario that we were concerned about coming through a ziggurat in the first place. Anything elemental is going to be a little bit on the nasty side. Let's give it one more go here. If we come across one more nasty scenario, that's where we'll call it quits. Oh, it is cold themed again. I don't have any quick swaps, unfortunately. Switching into our armor is going to take a hot minute. At the very least, what we can do is haste up. And then maybe I kill things fast enough that it doesn't matter. At least that's the plan. That's the dream here, as it were. More cult-themed demons, please. Thank you. I appreciate it. The Fiend is a good touch for us here. At least we don't have cold vulnerability or anything nasty like that, but slightly less than ideal encounter for us here. Is that all of our bad luck out of the way, maybe? No more cold-themed enemies? One thing we could do is stop running into enemies and let them come for us, seeing as how we're definitely a character that would rather deal with these sons of guns one at a time. Let's haste up. Let's drink a healing potion. I guess if we just start killing demons, that actually pretty quickly brings us back to a solid spot here. So even just using Cleansing Flame as we begin to get into a nasty situation like so, just get blasting. Ooh, we even have a Panlord. Ooh, with Firestorm as well, my friend. Oh crap. I didn't mean to shoot at my neighbor there. They were actually keeping me safe from Firestorm, so I kind of wanted to keep them around. Oh, but not the end of the world at the end of the day here. Potion of Experience. Do you know what? Enchant Weapon we don't need, so let's try to just hold on to these experience potions. Ooh, even getting a Blinking Scroll back is lovely. And with that, let's keep heading down. Still quite a few ziggurat floors to go. Okay, waiting out 100 turns? Not good enough. I guess fair enough. Everyone's still asleep here at the other end. That makes a certain amount of sense for sure. Let's take care of our mutator here first and foremost. I guess permanent mutator specifically. Well, how about that? There's a lot going on here. We do have the inability to read scrolls if we take too much damage, so we want to keep that in mind. Ideally, we can pretty dang quickly burn our way through all these temporary mutations with some good old-fashioned murder time. And so far that does seem to be the case. And then we should be able to do some generalized cleanup here at the end of... Ooh, even a paralysis coming through. Now that could have been nasty. Oh, overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Ring of the Octopus. Okay, do I have anything else? The full hubris has kicked in now? You're not wrong. I think that just about sums it up. Could get rid of vulnerability scrolls, I guess. I always keep polymorph wands at this stage in the game because I tell myself that if we come across like a shapeshifter that we need to get swapped out of whatever theme they are, that could be life or death. I don't think I've ever used one for that purpose. Usually I just killed the thing and we're happy. Famous last words, but let's just drop that bad boy for now, shall we? And let's see, we have quite a few more floors to go. 13 floors left, and they're just gonna get nastier from here, of course. But let's hang out at the back here. Now that we've caused a commotion and we're gonna have friends coming our way. In fact, if I just tuck away into a corner here, that seems like a half decent option. Excuse me. Okay, temporary mutation is still gonna play a role here sooner rather than later. Maybe I'll swap over to Penetration Bolt and let's try to take out the summoning statue before they get too carried away here, shall we? Similarly with all these summon mummies here, one thing we could do... I'm gonna become a tree. I don't think this is where I die, especially since if we manage to kill enough of these undead sons of guns, we will find ourselves healed back up to a decent point. 33 AC is nothing to sneeze at. There are a lot of you, though. Don't get me wrong. So let's go haste. And what else can I do here? So we are Torment immune. What is still dealing damage to me, besides just, I guess, use some of the guns being a little bit close by? Oh, and smiting, of course. Let's not forget smiting. How that will always be the bane of our existence, but there we go. As we start to get more of the real mummies coming up to us rather than all of the summons, it is just opportunities for heals. And... heal I will. Fantastic. You know what? Let's get blasting with some cleansing fire from on high. And so they shall bathe in holy fire. Fantastic. And just about clearing our way through. I like how the ice statue has just been left alone until the very end. I mean, at the end of the day, it's almost like these ice beasts are just an advantage to us, seeing as how they're body blocking the truly scary sons of guns. But there we go. Finally make our way through, and let's just do a victory lap on all of the objects here. Do a quick search on the ground to see if we're missing out on anything too important. We're getting very close now to where we probably just want to get the heck out of Dodge, if I'm being completely honest with you. Yeah, another cold-themed floor is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. At least we have penetrative bolts, so we can try to take care of most of these sons of guns as they approach. At least that's the plan here, that's the dream. I'm looking at you, Ice Fiend. But now that I think about it, Ice Fiend actually could have potentially kept around as a free heal later on in the encounter, and in fact that's kind of the direction that I'm leaning towards now. Not very many simulacrums for these Wendigos to take advantage of. I almost feel a little bit sorry for the Sons of Guns, but I will gladly take it. Ooh, and it's the Glaive of the Prune here. Another weapon that we've never really had an opportunity to use, but it's very fun in theory. Oh, right, and I forgot that I have this hand crossbow to swap to, where things get a little bit hairy in the resistance department. So let's try to remember that in the future, shall we? This amulet can go for the prune. My life for the prune. That last one was pretty intense. It only gets worse from here. Or better, I guess, depending on your perspective. Okay, slime. I think we dip ourselves into a corner. And we stay prepared to escape with our lives if it becomes necessary. But it's only if we get some truly unfortunate luck in regards to corrosion here. Otherwise, we should be a-okay in the grand scheme of things. We're at minus 16. Oh, we did say corrosion might be a factor, but there we have it. Not too bad. Magic regen. Not really at this point, game. No, thank you. And let's see, as the final amulet, we could get a harm amulet. Is now the time to risk it all? I don't know if I feel too hot about that, but Zig 18. Let's see if we can manage to clear the one Zig with a ranged character. Slime again is actually kind of fortunate. After all, it went so well last time. Though I am immediately put down to minus 12. We start to see horrendous amounts of corrosion, like minus 20. We do have 14 cancellation potions, so we can start just slapping those bad boys on as a solve to any issue here, and that should be fantastic. More slime, please. I actually feel kind of confident in our ability to deal with the slime lords. Terrified at what else could be brought to bear here. Okay, is this going to be full? Are we looking at full mummy? We are looking at full mummy. Okie dokie, here we go again. Do I bother with the lig this time? Do I dare with the lig is maybe the better way to put it. Does trap us here. You know what? I want some bodies. Which I may regret, seeing as how I can't fire through them, unfortunately. What else? Haste is probably going to be for the best here as well. Let's play it as safely as we can. You know what? I'm feeling risky. Famous last words, I know. But here we are. If I can hit 3 royal mummies in one shot, that puts us in a decent spot for sure. So let's just try to keep racking up the triple kills here, shall we? Please, if you could let me murder at least one of the royal mummies here sooner rather than later would be nice. So whatever you see fit, game, of course, but I mostly just need to get rid of them before we start getting too many smites coming down on our head. Again, not having fog available to us this game is starting to rear its ugly head. And let's go for some Cleansing Flame to just get some quick AoE damage and the resulting heals that we get out of it as well. Fast and slowed, of course, my favorite combination. And okie dokie. Is there any way I hit both of the royal mummies? Not quite. Then I'll just go for some of the high priests and the royal at the same time. And if I just keep clearing the area around me, it also encourages our friends to step right up. Okay. This looks like a precarious situation, way more precarious than it has any right to be. There's almost no reason for us to be risking everything at this stage in the game. And yet here we are, folks. There we go. Some undead next to me means some good heals are available. Most of the royal mummies and priests are also taken care of, which gets rid of all the smite that was causing us most of the pain there. And otherwise, we can just blast away through. And in fact, there we go. This stage is where we can start blasting away to our heart's content. No longer a tree as well if we had to escape. Fantastic. Yes, welcome, Spindart. Great time to pop on in right as we're dealing with threats in the worst way possible, like one does. Ooh, we do have resistance available now, so that's nice. And do I dare? We're now at 8 more ziggurat floors, folks. Can we make it through in one piece? Starting to look a bit worse for wear. Depends on how lucky we get though. So let's take a peek, shall we? Oh heck yeah. Okay, this is where it's at. Give me Shoals. Oh, it might not be Shoals. That might have just been a shapeshifter. You son of a gun, it's Pandemonium. I got. Okay, so one of these buddies is Damnation, and it, I guess, Call Down. It is Call Down Damnation, you son of a gun. Okay, that's quite a few Panlords, to say the least. You open your eyes. In a way, if I don't do all this, those people did all that mummifying for no reason. Fair enough. Okay, well, Firestorm, hey? Okay, we have you next to us, and you just deal damage. You're susceptible to fire, so you might actually die by accident here before I'm ready for it. But barring that... Wait, what the heck just hit me? Raging Storm of Fire? You did hit me with Firestorm, you son of a gun. Okay. Well, folks... Turns out, might be scarier than expected. You're not immune. No, you're susceptible to fire. Oh my gosh, they didn't have a care in the world. They're just gonna start blasting each other. How dare you? And here I thought I could at least hide behind your friend. Well, it's probably not worth risking life and limb here. I'm trying to think of the safest blink path. Kind of want to stay next to enemies, to hopefully one of these times prevent them from doing anything too silly. I'm looking at you, Roesh, as well as you, Puhe, both of which are pretty nasty sons of guns. But hey, no time like the present. Get me in there. And then, double down, get me in there. Ooh, that, a lot of Panlords. Oh my gosh, Scales of the Dragon King, very cool item. Don't think it's going to play a part today, as we find ourselves once again in the scenario of truth here. Do we dare try to continue? It's just going to get worse from here. We've used up 3 blinks just on this room alone, and we're going to be going into the next one slightly worse for wear. Regardless, I can take 1 step. And now is the moment of truth. It's only 20. We still have 7 floors to go. I think I lean towards potentially heading out of here, as tempting as it is. I'm trying to keep a good handle on the ever-rising hubris that affects us all here. Dalphon, you're on the same page. You say, let's get a win. It would suck to die now, after all of the work that went into Grunter. So, I think we gave it a good old college try here. We got a decent ways in. I'm still very happy with that. And it's, I guess, not technically over yet, so I should be able to handle these two at the end of the day. Swap back over to Holy, and finish off the clown, and there we have it. So we got 20 floors deep. That's not too bad. No idea what's happening. You say we win? That sounds good to me. Yeah, we'll go back to the regular old dungeon here. Cigarettes, always a bit scary. We do have a second try if we wanted it, but I think I am more than happy to take this here. So let's go finish off Zot, shall we, folks? I think it was just Zot 5 left to go here. We take a quick peek. Maybe even just the lungs. It seems like we have explored some of the rest of the floor. Indeed, that is the case. So let's do it. One more final run here. Oh, thank you, Thalfon, for giving extra context there. So yeah, ziggurats totally optional, and in fact, they're infinite as well. They're 27 floors of increasing density and difficulty of enemies, and once you get through, you get access to another figurine that will open the portal into another one of them. So that's how you can infinitely chain them as far as you feel comfortable doing so, as it continues to just get more and more difficult as you go on. Very fun time, for sure. But generally, most characters, especially a lot of times you have characters that are like mega ziggurat characters, so the idea is to keep trundling through as many as you can possibly manage. And those characters, by and large, are going to be spellcasters, someone with good AoE, good resistances, potentially have something like Lich Form, which is a spell that gives you undead status, so you're completely immune to all the torment that might otherwise plague a character in the zone. On a ranged character like this, where we're mainly dealing huge amounts of single target damage, it's not quite as viable, so that's why we decided to head out and just head down for the usual win condition here. I'm waiting for that net trap to kind of ruin my day, but that's fine. Oh, cool, hope you're having a good time through all the deaths. Unless you've somehow stumbled on being the godliest gamer that ever delved in the dungeon here and managed to make it through your first few tries without too many deaths, in which case, bravo. But yeah, regardless, God, I'm so sorry. I hope that you're enjoying the game. Always absolutely love to see new faces joining the community and trying their best to save the world here, to make it through and grab the orb against all hope. And fantastic. Even getting kind of teleported around Zot 5, not a big deal on a 15 rune character. Of course, this is not something you'd normally see on any average victory, but it's nice. It's just a bit of a victory lap. After getting through all 15 runes, sometimes you need just to be able to lay your head back and have a good time. Wow, I thought for a second there I needed inventory space for the Orb of Zot. Sorry, it's my first time and all that, of course. But it's been a good time and a great game to add to the roguelike rotation. That's awesome. I'm very, very happy to hear it. So with that, we've grabbed the orb, and let's get on out of here, shall we, folks? Might even risk fighting our entire way up, seeing as how we're in a fairly decent spot. Immediately run into a Panlord that casts Firestorm, you son of a gun. Don't make me eat my words this early. Still have plenty of Orb Run to go to make me regret my my bold claims. But perfect, there won't be too much going on here. Most likely just blasting our way through as long as all goes according to plan. Still have lots of escape options available if we need to delve into that side of things. And otherwise looking pretty dang fantastic. On Dungeon 8, let's see, is there anyone we've left behind besides Crazy UF, who I do not mess with? Let's let the man sleep. Oh, by Suzanne we could have gone and killed for funsies. But that's fine. We'll maybe check out this ruined translucent door on D4. Oh my gosh. Hello, Pickle. Well, goodbye, Pickle. Oh, you dodged it. The single greatest kobold that ever lived. You did your best, my friend. Polymorph, no. Let's finish exploring D7. Didn't realize we left such a huge area open. I believe it was originally due to the fact that Pickle and friends were roaming, and we, of course, in my usual routine, were trying not to murder any poor innocent spirits, so we did our best to avoid them. But no time like the present to make up for lost opportunities in the past. And let's just murder a couple Panlords while we're at it, shall we? Definitely a thing of beauty. Ooh, and this would have been nasty. This would have been very out of depth if we had tried to make our way through when we first got here. Very interesting to see. Any treasures waiting at the end of the vault here that we would have been to die for if we had come here earlier on. Doesn't look like too much at the moment, but still a little bit of treasure to find. So don't mind me, excuse me, pardon me, folks. Just looking for your greatest treasures, please and thank you. Unfortunately, nothing too game-breaking. I say unfortunately, even though, again, this character got absurdly lucky. Where did we get this triple crossbow? It might have been on this very level. No, it was on level 10 of the dungeon, but still fantastic. It was the artifact bow, of course, that kept us going until that point. Just beautiful stuff. But let's head on up here. Enough of a diversion for the time being. Let's just get going. Oh. Seraph. Another Seraph is back. Interesting. Well, glad you're on the other side of the glass, my friend. I will see you another time. Same team. I don't know why we're fighting. And where is our little... UF is in that corner. Oh, I guess the translucent door is probably UF's, is it not? Well, in that case, gotta let the man sleep once again here. So let's just get on up and get on out, shall we, folks? After an extremely successful hunter run, GrHu II has done it. The absolute madmen themselves. Wonderful stuff. Absolutely love to see it. Definitely can take a deep swig out of victory for that. And this was a really fun one. I guess to continue our little debriefing, again, putting aside the absurd luck that we found early on in our journeys, it's been a very solid run altogether, especially since, if we take a peek in here real quick, 5 hours and 32 minutes total, this 15 rune victory was faster than the majority of my 3 runes. That's wild. That definitely shows just how strong the character was in general. A lot of luck involved, as well as just ranged being in a good spot. As long as you get even a base level of luck, your ranged character is going to sprint their way through the dungeon. Under 80,000 turns too. Yeah, you know, I don't pay too much attention to turn count usually, but I'm guessing that's in a similar vein going to be absurdly better than any other character that I usually play. I'm not a very quick player in general, of course. Was finding the crossbow the turning point, I think? I think it was originally finding the artifact shortbow. In fact, if we do a quick search here, which, it was this son of a gun right here, the shortbow of the Omega Point. In fact, if we just go to view, where did we find this son of a gun? Found it, oh, level 10 of the dungeon? It was that late, really? Wow, it felt so early on in the run. But yeah, that was definitely huge. All the regen that we found, we got really lucky with mutations early on. I think we got that regen mutation exceptionally early into the run, so that was just wonderful as well. As Thelfun points out, it also lowers the turn count because rests are a heck of a lot shorter, for sure. And being ranged helps with that as well, seeing as how generally we just stand our ground and start firing off in every direction, like our very life depends on it, because it usually does. But yeah, I don't even know where to attribute most of the success this run. Of course, it's wonderful having those nice weapons early on. Nothing too sketchy. A couple of nasty scenarios that we were able to fight our way out of. Getting lucky with Shining One Piety early on, so that we had our angelic friends available for anything rough that came our way. All in all, just a fantastic run. And so, in our usual routine here, let's just chug a haste. Let's just do some silliness here real quick. If I chug down 16 mutation potions, what do we look like? What? Chug 16 mutation potions, we lose all of our mutations, and all that's left is a resistance to further mutation. Well, how about that for mutation roulette, folks? I mean, I'll take it, gladly. At least our family will recognize us when we come out. We don't have any extra appendages or anything like that. Just goes full circle indeed. Unlock the secret of free resistance mutation. It's the only explanation. But another haste, potion of attraction. Yes, please. Resistance, why the heck not? Might, brilliance, anything to read. I might as well be vulnerable. Why the heck not? And silent? Maybe get some friends to join us in the journey out. Some silence for good old time's sake. And last but not least, of course, a potion of ambrosia. Let's get the heck out of here. Definitely butterflies. Ah, dang it. Missed opportunity. I should have done that before silence. Gotten even more friends to join us. But that is fine. Let's just head out on Grunter here. One of the most fun characters that we've played with for very different reasons than a lot of my previous holders of that title, or I guess current holders of that title, since it's just one of the most fun. I've loved both my genie runs for how like red gauged the entirety of the encounters were, especially having like incredible orb runs where we were just on the brink of death the entire time. That's fun to me. I do really enjoy that. This kind of fell on the flip side. It was comfortable, it was just slick, smooth, and sweet. And for that, I do appreciate you, Grunter. Absolutely wonderful work here in the dungeon. And yeah, by far my highest scoring run as well. Makes sense. It's going pretty dang quick. Yeah, under 80,000, hey? 535. Not too shabby, folks. In fact, if we take a quick peek into our high scores, 5 hours immediately jumps up to 14 and 13. Sounds about right. If I go through some of my 3 runes, immediately it's the Meteorin, which kind of throws things off. Of course, they have low turn counts. Yeah, there we go. Like, Fofi, already over. Looks like most of these are actually fairly similar. I'm hovering around like the 60 to 70,000. But yeah, 10 hours on GrHu here. 10 hours and 98,000 turns. How about that? For a 3-rune run, pretty huge difference for sure. Thank you, Eric, so much for the bits. I appreciate it. Oh, man. Oh, what a ride. What a run. Octopode Monk when? It's definitely an interesting option here. I mean, we do have to decide what we wish to do next here. A couple of options that are currently on the radar. Doing a melee-based 15-rune character. Haven't done that yet, so that's on the agenda at some point down the road. There's also the idea of a 15-rune null character, open-ended, can end up grabbing every spell in the game that we could possibly want to get our grub little paws on. Seems like it could be a lot of fun. Or there are, of course, some of the challenge runs that have been brought up before, the cosplay ones. We could play some dungeon sprints if people had any interest in seeing those in action, seeing what you might be missing there. Definitely let me know if you have any recommendations, any preferences amongst those. What god with the null though? Ooh, now that is a question. I mean, I probably shouldn't just do Shining 115 runes the entire times, right? Every single character. Gozag or the Shining one, I guess, is my 2 main squeezes for any 15 rune game. Trying to think of what other gods might kind of make the list for me there. I mean, like Ashe definitely falls off because having extra skills or skill points means absolutely nothing when you have infinite experience at your disposal. Null plus Shadow God like Dith, Goat Dith Menos, the one that gives you an ancestor is pretty rad. Ooh, and Hepleoquana, 15. And Thelphon, you mentioned that Null does encourage good habits for new players. That is adapt to what the game gives you for sure. Yeah, being flexible is something that I'm not very good at. I get very railroaded. I have my mind set on something and I'm just gonna force it until it works, but in general, that is the better way to play for sure. Maybe when I do a 15 rune melee, make it a Trog challenge. Ooh. Does kind of forcibly make me stick to my guns, though I'm not too worried about that. No magic whatsoever. For the glory of Trog. It'd be a fast one, most likely, too. Kind of. At a certain point in the game, you stop berserking because it's a lot of the times more risky than it is helpful. But maybe we'll try that out next. We'll go right into 15 rune melee. Could even start that out today. Let's take a peek. Let's see what the future has in store for us, shall we? So Null, we're gonna hold off for now. We're gonna save, but we'll keep the suggestions in mind. Heplequana is an option. Dithmenos, I don't know how well they would do in a 15 rune game, but we could always give it a shot, because why the heck not? Have all the time in the world. But if we're going to start off with a Trog melee character, where do we wish to go? I mean, Gargoyle is good again, of course, just for the resistances that are great early game and fantastic late game, but let's take a break from them and keep things switching up here. Minotaur is one of the most solid melee classes. Great for a 3 rune, great for your first few victories, but maybe not ideal for a 15er at the end of the day here. Trog did at some point get changed to offer Piety for Undead, which made it a lot less unreasonable for places like Tomb. Still not optimal, but not hopeless. Oh, that's a very interesting point. Yeah, how long ago was that change? I don't play Trog much these days, so I'm definitely a little bit in the dark for that son of a gun. Ghoul is another interesting option. We could go for a Torment immune character on our melee fighter, which I'm actually kind of interested in. It's tempting to go unarmed as well, but that might get a bit boring, so I'll probably swap over to axes at some stage in the run, if not just from the beginning. So Ghoul actually could be kind of fun. You do have to worry about dispel undead enemies throughout the course of the run, but it's a little bit different of a playstyle than what we've done for the first couple 15 here. So maybe I'll try that out. What pairs good with Tengu? In terms of playstyle or in terms of God to follow? Because playstyle, you can do some fun like run a gun strats. You know, a ranged character probably does pretty well with Tengu. Using your flight to cheese enemies over deep water and lava whenever you can. Are you slightly faster on a Tengu? I always forget. I feel like you are, but that might just be me thinking of like flying enemies being slightly faster than terrestrial ones. Playstyle? Yeah, I definitely trend towards spellcasters, ranged. You can get a decent hybrid character going. You do have to constantly be worried about your slightly squishy status, but you have pretty solid aptitudes across the board. Like, we take a quick peek into things here. Where the heck is Tengu? You know, your martial skills are good besides that health pool. Tengu have a 0.9 instead of a 1 for movement speed, if you remember correctly. Okay, yeah, I thought that might be the case. So you can use that extra move speed to do some kiting action. Make sure to keep that buffer of distance between you and your enemies. Always fantastic. And what else can you do, Tengu? Yeah, good with just all weapons. And decent at spellcasting too, so fun for a hybrid character. The only one that you're going to have trouble with is Hexes and Earth, or the only two, I should say. But they're pretty wide open. I don't know, I'm probably not the right person to ask. Definitely if anyone in chat is a bit more experienced with Tengus. I used to play them a lot back in the day when I was trash at the game, so I never really got to see where they went. And when we did them in the Great Player series, it was a little bit rough, for sure. This whole lot right here, since we did it in order, Spriggan Tengu Deep Elf, it was just having no health constantly for a few months. But we did manage to make it through, I think, with a, actually kind of a fighter style character, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. What's cracking? Hey, Jazzy, not too much. We did just successfully make our way through our 15 rune victory with our ranged character. So very happy with that. Grunter the Second lived up to their lineage and did some wonderful work on their way through. So just deciding on where we're starting at next. Kind of a jack of all trades for sure for Tengu, yeah. Ice only -1. Still wouldn't go Ice Elementalist with you because he needs melee range along. They're too squishy with the caster background. Especially at the start, it can be rough. I mean, I'm a sucker for Ice Elementalist, so I think I did potentially try it a couple times, go with like a hybrid character. But definitely for just starting off or kind of getting to learn Tengu playstyle, maybe ranged is the way to go now. I haven't played one since the range changes, but I can imagine it being pretty great. They're high dex characters. That's pretty sweet. Love Ice Elementals, but you wouldn't roll Tengu if you wanted to play it. Fair enough for sure.